Jeffrey Devin Fan here. Welcome back. Ada Mortals Wing Chun. Today, we're going to talk about probably the most famous technique in Wing Chun, or from people who like Kung Fu movies from the perspective of people who kind of associate different styles with different techniques. The chain punch is the technique that most people think of when they think of Wing Chun, almost more than anything else. Today we're going to break down how to use the chain punch, how to do the chain punch, how not to use the chain punch, okay? So, fundamental principles. If you already watched the Wing Chun straight punch video, you're going to understand the mechanics, the general mechanics behind the punch that's happening here, okay? So, similar mechanics at play. We're talking about coming through the center, driving from the elbow from this punch. So again, the expression in Wing Chun is we punch from the heart in Wing Chun. What that means is that the punch comes from this place here, comes through the center here, okay? The difference with the chain punch, just as the name suggests, is that a chain punch means you're creating a chain of attack. In this case, we're talking on a basic level, okay, about the punch becoming like a chain. So what that means is, I'll step back a little bit here. You punch your target here. The next punch is hitting the same target. The punch after that is hitting the same target, the same target, the same target. So one punch comes after another. It creates a chain. Okay, that's why it's almost like a bicycle crank going over here. So the only problem is, if you don't understand the straight punch and how that works, what you see a lot of practitioners doing is they end up making a circle. Okay, so they punch. And they think it's getting very fast, but the problem is what they're actually describing is a circle. The problem with the circle is when you come to hit your opponent, instead of blasting through with your punch, what ends up happening, so if you can see the dummy here, my fists end up going in a circle. They're actually grazing the opponent, okay? Instead of coming through and hitting the opponent. So, when you first are going to practice these punches, these ones, even at first, if you don't have the bag, you haven't set up your punching bag or your cushion yet, whatever, you can practice on the spot. Actually, it's an amazing workout for the punches that you use for throwing these punches through the muscles that you use for throwing these punches through the center. You can practice on the spot. One thing will help, actually, you can go to the mirror and practice in the mirror. And you're going to make sure, so if I'm here looking in the mirror, I'm going to make sure that my punches are hitting that same spot, okay? So this punch comes out here, boom, hits the target. This hand drops back into a guard position as the next one comes forward and hits. Drop and hit, drop and hit, drop and hit, drop and hit. You'll notice that there has to be a motion where I bring my hand back, okay? This is not a wasted motion. Actually, in the attack, it becomes very, very important. So, if you imagine, here I have my dummy here. As I'm attacking, okay, I'm hitting my target here. I'm throwing these punches. In all likelihood, the person who's being punched is going to throw up a defense. They won't just stand there, or you shouldn't just be punching them, okay? So, my opponent here is going to throw up his defense, his arms. The idea with the chain punch, this chain attack, is that whatever my striking hand is here, as it comes back, I'm going to use that energy to trap and get rid of whatever's in my way there. Okay? So I'm throwing this attack, boom, here. As I come back, a hand comes up, I get it out of the way. A hand comes up, I get it out of the way. Get it out of the way, get it out of the way. So I'm always getting something out of the way and pulling this down. What ends up happening is, if you're the person trying to defend, as soon as your hands come up, these hands almost like it's climbing over the defense, okay? That's how I use it. If you combine this motion with forward energy, okay? So you're actually charging forward as you do this. Once you make the connection with your opponent, you charge forward, it becomes very, very hard for the opponent to stop. Because the minute they try to put their hands up, you use this energy, this one here, you pull the defense out of the way, and you're following with another punch as you're rushing forward, okay? Extremely hard to stop at the close range, okay? Actually, there are some defenses out there to the chain punch. I won't share them here, okay, because that's for, you don't want to give your secrets necessarily to your opponents if they're watching. So, but we'll just talk about how to apply. So when you throw your punch here, you're making sure that you're throwing your straight punch that you already learned here. So not hyperextending your arm. Throw your straight punch. You're following. You hit exactly the same spot with the next one. Okay? So if your target was your opponent's head, you punched its head here, you hit exactly the same target as you move forward. Now, you're going to notice something. For this to be a quick chain of attack, you have to be facing square when you're doing this punch. So it's not necessarily, it would still be a chain attack if I'm punching 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, but you won't be able to have the same kind of speed with it, okay? The speed, this attack that makes it difficult from the close range, you have to be facing a little bit square. So to get the power behind it, that means we're not going to be able to use the full body torque with each punch, okay? Because that is going to slow it down. So then you're going to say, if you can't use, this is the only difference, okay, between the straight punch. If you can't use that snap here, and you can't use your full body torque to throw the punch, then where's the power coming from? 2 places. First place is that those muscles I talked about behind your elbow here are going to throw this away. I'm also using my back foot, still pushing off with here, okay? The back foot is going to push me forward into forward motion. So the kind of chain punch, the worst kind that tends to have no power, that people look at it and say that's not going to do anything in a combat situation, is if people are just standing here going like this with their arms, okay? That's true, that won't do anything, okay? It's not effective. It's not, no way in actual combat situation, you're just whirling your arms like this, not going to do anything. For the chain punch to work, it has to have your body mass, just like all our techniques in Wing Chun. You already learned Tan Sao, Bong Sao, have to have your body mass behind it in the straight punch. This has to have your body mass, using your body mass in a slightly different way. The way we use our body mass in the chain punch is I have to be moving forward behind the punch. If I'm not having my stance energy here, pushing, driving forward, then it's like it's a nail, but there's no hammer to hit the nail, okay? In this case, your body is the hammer, you hit that nail. So for here, my body drives me forward, that's what gives energy to the punch, okay? If it's not if my body's not there to drive it, there won't be power behind it, okay? It has to be moving forward to be effective. Now, other big mistake. So we talked about don't punch round like a circle. Each one has to be a straight punch, okay? Same target. Straight punch, you have to be moving forward. We got that already. Other most important part is that you see often in the movies, and they do it because it's exciting. So I love Kung Fu movies more than anyone, okay? But you don't want to apply what you see in the movie to real life. It's fantasy versus reality. So the fantasy version, what they love to show is a person rushing across. They rush towards their opponent like that. Looks cool. Oh my gosh, he's like throwing a machine gun attack. Okay? Looks cool. In reality, that's a worse way to apply the punch. So this is not a distance technique. I can't tell people that enough. You're not coming from a distance, throwing punches at the air, then rushing in at someone. It's the worst idea, okay? Why? Because number one, I'm telegraphing, I'm telling my opponent, which we never want to do, telling my opponent exactly what I'm going to do. So any skilled fighter, just think for 1 second about it, okay? Any skilled fighter, even perhaps an unskilled fighter, see someone rushing, they see their whole attack, think of the number of things you could do. You could do a sweep and trip the person, you could kick the person, you could come over top of this attack and hit them, you could come around the side and there's no defense because their hands are already in motion. So you're a sitting duck coming forward like this. The worst. So you see people that say, okay, any problem, I'm going to rush forward, chain. Don't punch the air. There's never any reason for it. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. If you think about the moderation part, okay, humility, compassion, moderation, there's no moderation just punching, wasting motion. No economy of motion there, okay? The way to use the chain punch, you already have to be in this close-up scenario. I'm already close with my opponent here. Then I rush forward and I'm using this attack. I'm rushing forward with my body mass to make this attack work. Then, the other part is, okay, this is the real idea of Loi La Hoi Sung, when you talk about you're meeting this force here, if the force is going away, so if my punching my wooden dummy, he's going away, I'm chasing after, I'm following him with my hits. If he turns this way, I follow. If he turns this way, I follow. You're following that energy. You don't let them get away once you engage and you start this blast, okay? That's what makes it like a machine gun, like an effective attack. Then it's a great technique. If you don't put those things, you're not using your body mass behind it, okay? If you're not following, worst case, you're telegraphing, telling people what you do, then it's a terrible attack. So something can be great, something can be terrible, it depends on the application, okay? So that's the application. You have to be in close, you have to move forward, you're moving forward with this attack. The secret to it that will make it work for you is that idea that as you attack, anything that gets in your way, you use that chain motion to pull it out of the way, pull the hit out of the way, pull the hit. From there, it doesn't even have to be punches anymore. It becomes a chain attack. You can use palm strikes, you can use Busao, you can use anything. The chain attack means getting something out of the way, replacing the hand, okay? I'm going to leave it with that deep secret in Wing Chun. You understand that concept, you understand the basics of it. It's replacing hand, okay? What that means is, just think about this. You can ponder it. One hand is doing a technique. The other hand is attack. One hand is trap, the other hand attack. One hand is trap, attack, okay? Trap, attack, trap, attack is replacing hand. You replace your hand. This can be punching, okay? Can also be different techniques you can use there. It's a trapping hand, all right? It's a secret. So when you practice these chain punches, you can do from the mirror, make sure you're hitting that same spot over and over again, okay? From the side, punch, hit the same spot, hit the same spot, hit the same spot, and bring this one back. As you do it, for you, when you're practicing at home, first start, make sure that each punch is a real punch before you start trying to make go faster. When each punch, you make sure, even when you're going fast, each one has to be a real punch, has to have menace behind it, okay? The second step will be to put that in motion, and I want you to try to move forward with it. Then you can try change directions, okay? Start with the basics, get that punch down, and then you have one of the most important, useful tools in our arsenal now added to your toolbox there. Until next time, thank you for joining me. More Wing Chun. Come back, join us for more exciting techniques.